guys, big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and today you are here with D-Boy, and we have some cards for you guys. Today we will do a video that we talk a little bit about the history collection. So the history collection is a collection, a set where they reprinted cards that got an errata. So these are some old cards that got an errata. Not all of them, of course, because it's a very strange set with lots and lots of reprints, with more than 350 cards, if I'm not mistaken, and it's almost impossible to pull the right cards that you want. The higher rarities are very hard to get, the SPs, and this guy is also very hard to get. So the thing is with this set, it opens up lots of new plays for premium, which is of course amazing, and it's lots of fun, especially for us older Vanguard players who have been enjoying the game for a very long time. The cards that got reprinted, and most importantly, we have the older strides. So the old stride for Spike was the on-hit one. The first one was Bruce. Ironically, his name was Bruce. So the oldest stride, and the new version of Spikes, which is of course Diablo, is also Bruce, but this old one is Bruce. So this got an errata, which he gained an extra skill. The same goes for the old and the original Messiah. So Messiah was the first stride, which he actually was the card that was able to do a lot against deleters in real life or in the games, and also in the series, in the anime, in the film. So they reprinted this guy with, of course, a skill, because the original one didn't have a skill. But he had the downside of the card was black, which is interesting because the strides are red, except this one, and he was 16k. And there are some different things about this card, that the stride, it's beautiful that it said, of course, here how you can stride. Well, the older strides have the skill that said stride release within the player, Vanguard, greater your greater stride step. Well, this card, it's just say conditional costs fulfilled, you may stride this unit. So this was very early. So if you compare these two, of course that this one has the full ability, but also the stride, the continuous, that there are lots of stuff that make this card very unique. So for me, if we talk about just Messiah, which one I will be playing, considering getting the SP, but I think even if I get the SP, this will be the one that I played. And the reason why I got this card is actually very funny. The reason why I got this card is because I wanted it to G-assist, because in the early days when you wanted to G-assist, you had to remove 2 strides from your stride zone to be able to G-assist, and that was the reason why I got these strides. And of course, if your Vanguard got deleted, you can stride on the top of it, and then you still have the triple drive, and then you have no skill, of course, because this doesn't have a skill. But the turn after that, you go to your Vanguard being undeleted. If you don't know what deleted is, guys, then I don't know what to say. Alright, so what will we do in this video? In this video, we will open up a beautiful pack on MOA cards, a shop that we buy our cards most of the time from. We also have Perkage that we also buy some of the cards from, and then the other cards mostly from Card Market, which is the same as TCG Player for you guys from the US. And of course, you also have friends. We have lots of friends from Singapore, from Italy, from different countries, from the US that we buy our cards from. And I have multiple packages coming in. Three. I made 4 fingers. Well, it was 3. So one is coming from Perkage. Well, you have the Rising in SP. and we have the Charlotte in SP, because if you guys don't know me, I am also a big Dark Irregular fan. I don't really play the clan anymore. I played it very long time ago, but I still collect, especially the Charlottes. Originally I collected the Amons, but now I collect the Charlottes, and I need to have all the Charlottes in SP in every version, which I do, and that's why I got the new one. I already got my package from Singapore, from Riz, a very good friend of us, which I have Messiahs for me and for Marta, for Sang. I have this beautiful boy in SP because I think that this one has, of course, lots of potential, especially when you cannot retire, you don't want to retire for some reason. This guy could actually make a difference, and it's very cute, and it's a beautiful SP that I also wanted to have. And the Rising in SP, of course, this beautiful, amazing art that Rising got. So this is also a reprint. It's not an errata, it's the original Rising, but beautiful to have him in this version. Now I have 2 of him, so I could play 2 on 2 if I want to. And some other cards like this new starter, the new Honolly, so we have the full effect, the full skill. This will not be the one that I will play, because I will play still my own borderless art. I like that one more than the SP, and I don't mind that the text is different as long as I have one of this with me and one of this with me. I'm good to go. So 2 of the new Honolly, if needed, I do have them. The Bull Spike, which is interesting that they reprinted this guy, and I want to have at least all the spikes in every version. So this one is a common Bull Spike with a different flavor text, of course. Very, very, very happy they did this, because it's one of the hardest cards to get. The Rising from the V era, Rising Nova, of course, and the Bull Spike. 2 of the cards are very hard to get. Beautiful art. I'm a Ghosty fan, and Peter the Ghosty, of course. Get that, and this one you need more. So thanks, Riz, for these cards, and now we'll open the package. So in this video, again, we will compare the older cards to the newer one. We'll talk a little bit about this pack. It's just a fun video overall for you guys to open with me. Let's see. So there are multiple orders in here. Not all of them are for me. Some of them are also for friends, teammates. Sven got some, Robin, Glacian got some as well, and some for, of course, Marta, Sing. So we have multiple orders in one. Here we go. This is the way that MOA cards always put their cards. So they put it in binders or binder papers, or whatever you call them. Here we go. Then we open the other side. Alright. Now you can see 2 difference, and we have lots of cards in here, so we have to check if all the cards are in here, but MOA cards always are on point, which is amazing. We don't have any very, very, very high rarity cards. If they were in here, then they would be in top loaders. Most of the time in between this, so like inside in a top loader, so they don't get damaged, and also the cards that are on the top of them don't get damaged as well. I'm very happy with the way that MOA cards do their way of packing, and also the shop in general. Very nice. I always said if somebody would be my sponsor, I would rather it be MOA cards than any other shop. Alright, so we have some beautiful cards in here, and of course all the reprints from Spike Brothers, some from Dimension Police, and mostly the new cards, so the errata cards. But of course, you want to have all the versions of all the Spike Brother cards. This is the reprint of Rising. Of course, you can get him in SP. This is his older art. It's beautiful that he, of course, will have. I think he should have another text. Although, come on, let's go, everybody, follow me. This seems like the original text, if I remember it correctly, but we will see. Right, we have the second one's open right here. Is it? What's holding you? There you go. These are all the cards that are in here. Let's see, let's start with the first order. So we know that all the cards are in here. We have this beautiful Angel Stride, and we have two of those. So of course these are the on-hit strides, and because Glacian's girlfriend Gwenny, she is playing Angels, so beautiful that they got two copies of this, and you need two copies because they unflip their self, so that's important. So we have two of those. We have one of her because Glacian already have more of these. It's just for the new text, so that's enough. And then of course he's building Novas, so we have one of the new Victors. Then he also wanted some Honolys, so we have 4 beautiful new Honolys right here. And then comes the crits, so we have 4 of the Angel crits, and then we have 4 of the Murkumo crits, because Gwenny's making that deck as well. Yeah, we are really getting into premium. Then we have some Link Jokers, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the crits, and that's good because of course these crits are different because they do have the 15k shield, they have the 10k on the power that they give, but also they have an extra skill, which is when they come in your damage zone, they actually act as a draw trigger. So they are draw trigger and they are a crit all in one. Then we have one Mega Colony crit because Glacian also plays Mega Colony. And we have the Angel Feather crit 4 off. We have the Nobitama crit heal. I mean the heals 4 off. The thing about these heals are, of course, again, the shield is more, the power that they give is more, but the skill is the same. These are the counter chargers or soul chargers heals. Alright, then we continue with these. We have 4 of the Nova Grappler heal, followed up by 4 of the Link Joker heal, and then we come to some of the G Guardians. So we have 4 of the Angel for the G Guardians. Of course, these are common, so they are really not that expensive, which is good. Then we have the grade 3. I think we have 4 of those as well. And of course, we add in all the commons, which I will not go all through. But you can see that the set was very, very, very well made, as in you get lots and lots of reprints that you could play. But the problem is that there are too many cards in such a limited printed set, and they're also very hard to get a playset of. So it's very, very bad for the shops to open these because they will not get lots of value out of them. The Messiah, in my opinion, should have been one in each box, which will make him not expensive at all, but it will make it easier for people to get. This is the new Guardian shield. This is a shield that you get if you go second. You have to show a Messiah from your deck and you get this to your hand. It's a 20k shield, which acts the same as the quick shield, which is amazing because this helps a lot, especially against Nobitama, because it's chilling in your hand. We have more cards. I'll go fast through them until I get into spikes, then I could explain and compare, because of course my specialty is spikes. Alright, now let's continue on. So here we have the new or erratad stride from Pale Moon, of course for Sven, the crits as well. Then we have the Dimension Police one for Marta, for Sang. And of course we have Flash Bruce. So this is the new Bruce, or the erratad Bruce, and this is the original one. It's different because this is of course a triple rare, while this one is a double rare. If I take him out of the sleeve, then you guys could see the difference. D-boy, do you triple sleeve your cards? Yes. Why? Because of the weather in the Netherlands is just bad. You see, big difference is that it shines, of course, differently. Running Flash, the flavor text is the same. So these erratad card, they are not counted as reprints, so they have the same flavor text. It's a higher rarity, it has the full text. The problem is usually you see less of the art because it's more text. That's why I also like the old Messiah. So we have the stride step. They actually just, this was better. This was just easy. Played Vanguard's grade 3. You can see stride step. Right here the whole skill is more explained, so it's easier for new players as well. You have the act ability, of course, that is the new ability. So you can stride this card during your main phase, even if your opponent is grade 2, which is in my opinion a bad idea, because it will make some decks go off just like that, like Nova Grapplers, and I think Royals and Golds could do the same thing. Maybe more decks could do the same, but yeah, that's just not smart from Bushi. It should have had the act ability, which should have been the same thing if you and your opponent is on grade 3, but it is what it is. For Spike Brothers, this is important. Even if you don't rush, it's good to have GB2, because it is basically GB2, before you... then you could G-guard easily. So let's say if you play the Turbo GB8, you just go to the Old Rising, you search your Acrobat Verdi, your Verdi to the field, you get the Old Rising, and from that moment on, you could just stride into this. You could still attack onto a Ragard. It's not about his ability, it's all about the fact that he flips himself, and the fact that you have GB2 for next turn, which means 3 G-Guardians, 2 Unflippers, and 1 whatever G-Guardian. You basically get to your GB8, which makes it easier to guard, better way to guard, and faster GB8. So he acts as a Zazan, which I call the Zazan effect. But with Zazan you get GB1, so you have to use the flip G guard 3 times, which is strange with guarding. But with this guy you could just use a double G guard first and then a third G guard, or use them all three at the same time, basically up to you. You could also use a first G guard, then a second, then a third. As long as you use the normal G guard first, you don't use the flipper, then you're good to go. But yeah, this is basically it. So his extra skill that he got is an act on the G zone if your Vanguard is grade 3 and it's exceptional expertise Rising Nova, which could be the old one or the new one, but it has to be the old one. Why? Because it said if you didn't get an imaginary gift this fight, you choose this card, you stride it, you discard a grade 3 from your hand, or cards with some being grade 3 or greater, and then you get 2 imaginary gifts. So you could get a double force 1 if you play the GB8, and then after that you ride into whatever, which is most of the time a rising. You ride the old new rising on the old rising, and with that you create another force 1 and a force 2. So that's basically the game plan. And then his extra ability that is added as well is continuous. If this card attacks, hits or doesn't hit, the hit skill will go off even though it didn't hit, which is very, very, very important to understand. So that's basically the new and the old stride. So we got 4 of those because we want 4 of every Spike Brother card. Then we got in extra imaginary gifts. This is a Force 2 to add to my collection. We have here a special beautiful Fenrir for Glacian. Of course, Glacian is a big Fenrir fan, and this new art he would get it as well. Then we have the new Mantle, or actually the old one with extra errata. So we have this boy in SP, and we have the normal version of him. The same goes for this. I wanted to have 4 of them. Then we get into the crits for DP. It's good to have those as well for Sing. Then we get to Liar Lips. So all of these crits have the same thing. They got the extra shield, they got the extra power, and they have the added skill as in, of course, if they get into your damage zone, they act as a draw trigger. I will not be playing this card. I will, of course, be playing the SP that is already in my deck. What I do see about this card is that it feels lighter than the older version. Let us see if that is in fact right, or if I'm just imagining things, because it had been a while since I've seen the old one. Here we go, this is the old one. This is the new one. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit lighter. Damn. My memory is just too good. So, the same flavor text, of course. The heart is different though. This one is black and this one is white. The whole text is a little bit different. But of course, you see the added skill of this card, which is that when this card is in your damage zone, when this card is revealed for a damage check, draw a card. So that's the big difference, but everything else is the same. This is actually a very good card to play in Spike Brothers in general, because it gives you soul. It lets you draw cards and give you an extra attack because it leaves an open record circle behind it. So if you combine it with the stride skill of the old Rising Nova, then it works amazingly. Back in the days, we have this one boosted by the Frog Raider, and they made a beautiful 11k column. So we got 2 playsets of these because it's good to have. Then we got, of course, the Dimension Heal. Then we got the Spike Heal. So this is, of course, a very, very, very important heal. Why? Because we have Jelly Beans. And so Dudley, Lindsay, Cheer Girl, and Dudley Cheers, and Lindsay. It's very important to have this card because this card could bring confusions, because this is, of course, an old heal, the same as the crit. So you have, of course, more power, more shield, but the skill stays the same. The name stays the same, which is very important because it's a Dudley. So I got only 2 playsets of these. There is no reason to buy more and make it harder for people to get them, but I will need the playset, of course. We have the new version of the Zeal Stride, G-Guard, I mean. I think these are exactly the same, but I wanted to get them as well. So we have the Rising, we have the G-Guard. I was hoping that they made this in a triple rare, because then we have an update on the rarity, but now it's a common. But maybe the common feels a little bit better than the rare, because again, all of these cards are lighter. The same goes for Rising, but of course we don't have Rising in a common rarity. But this one does feel lighter. It's interesting to see that. We have, of course, some PGs. I got only 1 Alma. There's no reason to get more. But again, it's way lighter. You can see that. Jelly Beans, of course, I got only 4. There is no reason to buy them out. Again, lighter, but the skill is the same. And of course, the other spikes, I just got 1 of each for collection. The same goes for Merlin. I got 2 Mega Trainers. And this is also one of my favorite arts of the whole game. So I got that as well. Commander, important to have that one. 4 of this for some reason, because if the text is very different or it's more clear, then you could play it. And of course, the old version is just a rare. I think only one of this. Oh, I got 4 of this. Interesting. Some dolls for Sven. Or for me. I just love the art. A lot of shields because again we have a big team, so we need those. And we have some extra cards because we have more orders. So we have the Grand Blue crit. We have the Grand Blue heal. Beautiful art. And we got some more shields. So that's basically it for this video. And so it was just a fast video to, well, actually not that fast, it took me a while to open this, but to show you guys some of the cards, some of the new, some of the older cards, to make a comparison between them. If you guys want to get this set, I advise you to buy singles. It's not a good set to open boxes with, but that's my opinion. It's basically up to you. All in all, it's really nice to have these erratas, which gives the premium format a little bit more life. Was it smart to make the strides the way they are? I think it was okay. The only one downside that I see is the fact that they should make them stride when your opponent's on grade 3 as well. But they don't, which is sad, but again, it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in on our channel. Hope that you guys enjoy these kind of videos with me just chilling, opening it for you guys. It's like a stream. And I hope to see you in the next video. So till next time.